The big difference between large number of Indian origin people in the United States and almost non-existent American origin population in India is a phenomena that is shaped by historical, economical, political and cultural factor. The US has become a top destination for Indian immigrants due to favorable immigration policy, strong economic opportunity and the appeal of higher education. Meanwhile, India, despite its rapid economic growth, has not emerged as a significant immigration destination for Americans. This case study examines the key reason behind this disparity, supported by data, statistics, and historical context. The Indian American population has grown significantly over past few decades. According to Pew Research Center, the number of Indian origin people in the US surpassed 4.9 million in 2021. Making them one of the fastest growing immigrant community. The US Census Bureau reports that Indians now make up about 1.5% of total US population. A major driver of this growth has been the large influx of highly skilled professionals, particularly in fields like information technology, medicine, engineering, and finance. A significant portion of Indian immigration to the US is employment-based. The H-1B visa program, which allows US companies to hire foreign workers in specialized fields, has been dominated by Indians for years now. In 2022, approximately 75% of all H-1B visas were issued to Indian nationals, highlighting their strong presence in American workforce. Additionally, many Indian students come to the US for higher education, with the Institute of International Education reporting that over 268,000 Indian students were studying in American university in 2023, second only to Chinese students. But now we have surpassed. The Optional Practical Training (OPT) program, which allows international students to work temporarily after graduation, further encourages Indian students to stay and transition into the US job market. So the question is, why don't Americans move to India? Not even a handful of them. While millions of Indians have migrated to the US, the reverse is not true. The number of American citizens residing in India is estimated to be between 20,000 and 30,000, a fraction compared to Indian population in the US. Unlike the US, India does not have large-scale immigration system that attracts foreign workers in the same way. The key reason to this is economic factor, cultural differences, and immigration policy. One of the primary reasons is the income disparity, of course. The United States has significantly higher per capita income than India. According to the World Bank, the US GDP per capita in 2023 was approximately $76,000 in comparison to India's GDP per capita of around $2,600. This vast economic gap makes it less attractive for Americans to move to India for financial reasons. Unlike India, where migration to the US often leads to a substantial income gains, the reverse does not offer the same economic benefits for Americans. Another key reason is migration restriction and legal barriers. India does not have an equivalent to the US's H-1B visa program that encourages skilled migration. Foreigners in India can obtain work visas, but they are often restricted to specialized sectors such as journalism, research, or NGO work. Additionally, Indian laws make it really difficult for foreigners to own a land or business, further discouraging long-term settlement. Now, in comparison, the US has a well-established pathway for skilled workers, students, and investors to obtain visas, green cards, and eventually citizenship. Cultural and lifestyle factor also plays a very important role in why Americans do not want to come to India in large number. India has a vastly different social and cultural atmosphere as compared to the US, including differences in language, food, infrastructure, and the mentality of Indians. While many Indians moving to the US are prepared to adapt to Western culture due to English proficiency, and exposure through media, the reverse is really less common. India's infrastructure and urban living conditions can also be really challenging for many Americans. Traffic congestion, pollution level in major cities, and differences in public services like healthcare and education deter many Western people from long-term stays. Additionally, cultural differences related to work-life balance, bureaucracy, and social norms can make adjusting to life in India more difficult for Americans. Historical migration patterns also play a very important role in shaping this trend. The US has been a nation built on immigration, with policies that are designed to attract skilled labor, investors, and students from all around the globe. India, on the other hand, has a colonial past that influenced its approach to foreign residents. Post-independence, India focused on economic self-sufficiency and limited foreign influence, which contributed to its lack of immigration-friendly environment. Moreover, historical migration policies in the US have favored Indian migrants. The Immigration and Nationality Act of 1965 removed racial quotas and opened doors for Asian immigrants, including Indians. In contrast, India has historically been more focused on managing integral migration rather than attracting foreign workers. But let me tell you, with India's rapid economic growth, some experts speculate that more foreigners, including Americans, may begin considering India for work and business opportunities. India's booming technology and startup ecosystem, specifically in cities like Bangalore, is actually attracting foreign talents, but in small number. Additionally, remote work and digital nomad lifestyle may lead to more temporary migration to India. However, unless India significantly changes its immigration policy and economic incentives, it is unlikely that Americans' migration to India will ever match the scale of Indian migration to the US. The fundamental economic, legal, and cultural barriers remains too high for a large number of Americans to relocate permanently to India. So basically, in the end, the large Indian origin population in the US and lack of American origin residents in India is a result of multiple factors, including economic opportunity, immigration policy, cultural adaptability, and historical trend. The US has long been a magnet for skilled Indian workers, students, and entrepreneurs, providing clear path for legal immigration and citizenship. India, on the other hand, lacks a comparable system to attract foreign workers and has economic conditions that do not provide the same incentives for migration. While India is growing as a global economic power, it still does not offer the same financial advantages that attract immigrants to the US. Unless significant policy changes occur, this migration imbalance is likely to continue, with more Indians moving to the US legally or illegally, while very few Americans choose to settle here in India.